Hey, I just wanted to share some of the recent experiences I've had when channeling and doing my ceremonies and rituals. Um, so, just as a bit of context, for about the last 10 months, I've really sort of been focusing more on my connection to spirit and channeling. And even though the sort of even though I get a lot of wisdom coming through, I still have that thing of like, am I making it up? Is it all in my head, or this seems like obvious, or some messages that seem to just repeat, and then I think, oh, am I just making it up, etc., etc. And when something happens where I absolutely know without a shadow of a doubt that I haven't made it up because I couldn't possibly know, or it kind of like goes against what I would expect, then I get super, super excited still, and I just think, oh, everything's so magical. And a couple of those have happened lately, so I thought I'd share them. So the first one I wanted to mention was like, I think maybe 3 days ago. And I was doing a cacao session, and an angel, a female angel, came through and did some sounding. Like I do a lot of channeled sounding these days. But at the end, she came through with a message about my teeth. So I've got like severe gum disease, and a couple of areas of my gums have really swelled up again, really been quite painful and swollen. And she just came through this message of using honey, and either rubbing honey on the gums, or using honey in water as a mouthwash. And I immediately went, you have got to be kidding me. Like, I'm like rubbing sugar onto the gums with gum disease. And anyway, she said to me, you can, use the pendulum. If you don't believe me, use your pendulum and ask the question. So I did that, and it was a great big swinging yes for using honey. So I ordered the honey, and then I was still like, I just don't feel right about rubbing this honey onto my gums. It goes against everything, that we've been taught. So anyway, I looked up Manuka honey, because I got the sort of best quality honey you can get. It was really expensive. And I looked up Manuka honey and gum disease. And sure enough, on a dentist's own website, I found this long article about how Manuka honey is absolutely amazing for gum disease, because it's anti-inflammatory, antiviral, antibacterial. And it said the two best ways of using honey was to rub it on the gut, like massage it into the gums, or as a mouthwash. And I was just like totally blown away. So that was one thing, because I mean, it's, anyone would think that's nuts. And actually it was similar to something that came through months and months ago for me now. I have a guide who calls herself Lady of the Green, and she was talking about me looking after my hair better. I do have a tendency to never get my hair cut. I cut it myself, and I just don't really, look after it that well. And she gave me this like recipe for avocado and honey hair. I don't know I can't remember what she called it. Mask, that's it. And she said put it on with a few drops of vitamin E oil and leave it on for 20 minutes or half an hour. And I thought, because I'm not into these kind of things, and I thought, I've never heard of that. This is also a little bit weird, but not, you know, but not too weird. But anyway, I looked it up later online, and there's companies selling avocado and honey hair mask. It's like, oh, this is just so cool. Because I know I wouldn't have thought of it myself ever, so I know it's not from me. And and then today, the reason I'm sharing now is because something happened this morning in my womb awakening ritual. So when I sat down to do my first channeling of the day, I was very much in a thinking state, and Spirit said, why don't we just, you know, move away from that left brain overthinking and go back to something exciting like awakening your creativity and the sacral chakra and Shakti energy, and you know, get that expression going, that life force energy going. And I sort of thought, yeah, that does sound like a lot more fun. And the suggestion came through to pick up this book, which I've had for quite a long time, Womb Awakening. And so I carried on reading it where I left off, and I came to this Womb Awakening ritual, and so I thought, well, I might as well do it right now, because I was really into the book and thinking, you know, it really was resonating so strongly with me. So I do ceremonies all the time, and ceremonies and rituals, and they are my absolute favourite thing. But I really did feel a pull to set up things differently for this particular ritual. There weren't really many instructions, just kind of what you needed to imagine while doing it. So there certainly wasn't anything about setting up an altar or sacred space or anything like that. So anyway, I pulled the things out that I felt I was felt pulled towards to set up my space. And then I heard very clearly, you need a rattle. I thought, okay, and I went to grab one of my rattles, the one that I use most often, and Spirit said, not that one, the other one. So I thought, well, obviously this rattle has some significance, so I put it in the centre of my setup, or at least like in the main circle bit. I did the ritual. It was beautiful. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then a little bit later, I carried on reading the book. Didn't think anything more of it. And then, literally 2 pages on from where the description of the ritual was, there's she was talking about how she started drawing art. And in particular, that what she found herself drawing was the Eye of Horus on the womb area in these pictures that she was drawing. And she points out that the Eye of Horus comes from the root Hor, H-O-R, which means womb. And I didn't know that. I actually didn't know what the Eye of Horus, I didn't know that it came from the word womb. And I didn't even know what the Eye of Horus was, to be honest with you. Actually says the actual Eye of Horus it represents a female serpent goddess. And nevertheless, this lady who wrote the book was drawn to include a big Eye of Horus on the womb of her paintings. And guess what was on my rattle that I was told to pick? The Eye of Horus. Like, it just absolutely blows me away. And when I was doing the actual ritual itself, when I finished the description in the book, Spirit said, shake the rattle all around your womb area. And little did I know that this sign comes from the word womb. So I was just like totally blown away by the magic. And the thing is, these things do happen like all the time. So I feel like I want to start sharing more, because there's just magic on a daily basis, but just some things are just extra, like, I didn't know that. I absolutely did not know. I remember a friend of mine mentioning when I showed her my rattles that that's what the symbol was. I didn't even know that's what the symbol was. I was just drawn to that rattle and I'd bought it, and I meant to look up what the symbol was. And she said to me, oh, the Eye of Horus. And that's, if she hadn't have said that, that was a few weeks ago, I wouldn't have even known that that was the sign on the rattle. So yeah, I know for people who do this stuff all the time and are really, really in tune with spirit, these things perhaps don't come as a surprise. And every time I tell James, he always goes, well, yeah, of course, like, you're channeling all the time, and he doesn't really sort of see it as a surprise. But I find it quite hard to trust, that I am actually tapping into something. But obviously I am. It's the same with my card readings, they, like, every time they blow me away. They're just so, I'll sit down and do a channeling. I get all this information, write out pages and pages, and then I always follow it with a card reading, and the card reading is like a match every time. And I just sometimes it moves me to tears, because I just then feel so held and supported and connected, and like the whole world is so magical and beautiful and amazing. And I just love being in that space of, like, seeing the world through the magical eyes. And yeah, it excites me, uplifts me, and yeah, maybe it uplifts you too to hear about these things. So I thought I might as well share. I just felt pulled to share. All right, thanks for listening. Bye.